How are your levels, sir?
Oh, mine's looking pretty good.
Great.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Turn off this guy.
Yeah. Turn that guy down. We don't need him.
Man, it's like 90 degrees today. No, it's 99, right?
It's supposed to get up. I mean, I can't say what it says right now on my phone that it's 97 in Phoenix. And that is way too early to be 97. Like it's going to continue getting hotter.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a El Nino year. And now we're supposed to get La Nina years for the next 3 years, and it's going to be brutally hot.
Cool.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier. Yeah.
I mean, we went from like winter to death of summer instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thought I'd try something new.
Drinking?
No, a new camera angle.
Oh, okay.
So we can...
Oh, neat.
I am drinking a fresh Fest beer because this one's been rebrewed from Renhouse in
They
anticipation.
redid it, yeah, because they want to make sure they had enough for their
I hope we get to
entries.
drink some of these in the winner's circle.
boy, oh
Memphis,
boy.
in Nashville.
Hopefully they bring some with them.
What do you got?
I am drinking the Secret Project American IPA from Dragoon Brewing Company. Oh, that
There you
way.
go, yeah.
And closer. Oh, God, so close. Okay. That's what I got. It's got a little spy.
Yeah, I got that in at Dragoon. I tried to talk them into filling up a bunch of Pony Express. They were like, no, can't do that.
I know. They're so calm, though. It's
I know.
beautiful. They're like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I even use the old, what do we do now? I really need that Pony Express to take back to my thing. Can we?
What's it going to take to put Pony Express into this
in
container?
a crowler? And she was like, I only have one keg, so. And I said, well, what do we do now? And she turned around and started filling someone else's beer.
It's amazing. All right, well, cheers. This is not a beer podcast. This is a podcast about beer.
This is not a beer podcast. It's a podcast about beer.
So yeah, it's been warm, and I was in Flagstaff over the weekend, and it was wonderful. 60 degrees in the sun when there's no breeze, just amazing. A little hike with the dog. There's no snow where we're looking to do a festival, so I kind of paced it off.
That's cool.
It's got a good sized area, but you can't really. You got to be careful moving from place to place because it's in the woods. It's in the woods. It's in the forest.
There's a hill, and there's man-made objects that are kind of in the space too. Yeah,
There's a train. I hope no one runs into the.
that's
locomotive.
man-made, right?
Yeah, it is man-made, and people have run into trains. Like
It's true.
You're not wrong. Boy, hey, we're finally getting good at the small talk.
Well, what I do know is I'm going to have all these questions about where's vendor parking going to be. I'm like, oh, man. It's about 1.5 miles away. Bring your skateboard. I don't know.
Andrew Bauman.
Hey, Rob.
It worked. Okay. Yeah. Friends of mine have told me about a festival that occurs in Seattle where the brewers actually pick up a bus route and they get on the bus with their keg.
That's very nice.
I like that.
There's a bus that drops off directly in front of Real Wild and Woodsy.
There is.
Real Wild and Woodsy.
It's the Mountain Line. Not even joking about that. That's the name of their bus, the Mountain Line. It goes from downtown. I don't know what the times are, and I don't know. I know everyone's got to drive their $250 on to the site, but it's the way it goes.
I see you, Rob, and I know exactly what you're saying. Knock it off.
Hey, man, I've done it too.
Yeah, I really. Oh, hey, do you have an electric bike?
I do.
Oh, can I borrow it?
It's in Flagstaff.
Oh, good. That's where I need it.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
When do you need it? For this festival?
No. May 18, 19, 20. We're going to the Overland Expo West.
That is also the anniversary for Lumberyard.
Great.
And
Perfect.
I can't even stay in my own place because
You got kicked out.
I got kicked out. So I might be Airbnb-ing.
Great. Make sure they don't borrow your
Electric bike.
Because I'm taking my dad's and yours.
We have I have one here that's full. It's my sister-in-law's. She's got a folding one up there and a folding one down here, and I don't know why I'm the repository of bike storage, but I am.
Well, I for one, thank you.
So you might have to borrow one of those and take it up.
Hey, I'm good.
Okay.
Bike rack.
So, should we just keep chatting, or should we go and
let's
about an actual topic?
Let's talk about the most important news of this week.
This week, we were informed.
Yeah.
On Monday.
Yes.
Easter Monday for you and I.
Oh, such a great day.
I'm not in the camera. Hang on. That our bill, part of the consensus bill, the liquor consensus bill.
Liquor consensus.
We can't call it omnibus.
No, that wouldn't be something to say.
Passed or signed by the governor retroactively. We found out it was signed on Thursday, which would have been my amazing desire to be able to get that information and just talk about it on National Beer Day. But guess what? Man. We're talking about it today, which is King Gambrinus Day.
King Gambrinus Day.
Yes.
Gambrinus.
One of the Gambrinus. Well, it's spelled C sometimes. Gambrinus. I've seen that spelling. Because he was the king of Flanders and Brabant, which has Dutch and French pronunciations for a lot of stuff. Like Bruges is Brugge. Bruges.
Cool.
Depending on what.
Yeah.
If you're doing the Flemish or the. Yeah. So he was not a saint, though. He's
just a king.
They just like to represent beer. He didn't have any superpowers. He didn't have any godlike powers. But
yeah, well, we had Ninkasi, right? She was a goddess of beer.
Yeah, yeah. And there's
King Gambrinus.
There's also other patron saints of beer. I think one is Saint. There's a brewery named Arnold of Metz, but there are other Saint Arnolds that have also gotten the attribution of. Yeah,
being the saint of beer.
Yeah, I just think in hundreds of years under societal collapse, maybe this archive our podcast and we become the patron saints of Arizona beer. Wouldn't that be funny in several hundred years?
That would be hilarious.
We'll be dead. We won't care.
Well, I don't want to. I mean, that's kind of a requirement of being a saint.
So
our bill, also Catholic. So.
Our bill passed, and we're going to defer on explaining a lot of it because we hope to get Camila in here. Camila, our counsel, and she will explain the process. And this is going to be one that I think the industry is going to listen to because there are things you need to do and there are things you need to be aware of if you're going to do this. And we would all like to set everyone's expectations on this. And one of them coming from somebody who does this on the spirit side, one of our board members from OSO, Kelly Ellsworth, says, get ready to do a lot of sampling. A lot of people just want to be looky-loos and have a free sample and then walk away. Well, this is not Costco, and that's not going to be cool. So to our you can have a sample, but let's go in there and buy because this stuff is going to cost money. It's going to take time to bring all that product down there, and we're going to.
I think that's why you're kind of really pushing the pre-sale.
Pre-sale, yes.
Get your orders in. We'll be out in your side of town with these limited beers that we're going to be sampling, but also selling and delivering.
That's what we hope. So,
awesome.
breweries will be able to either. On their own or in conjunction with other breweries, work with a local governing body, i.e. a city, to establish that they can set up these sampling, but mostly purchasing areas called a festival license, but not in the festival that we know. And they're going to have to be, make sure that they are properly insured, which they should have that coverage as part of their business and alcohol.
Do they have automobile coverage?
That's a question that we don't. Yeah. So you can't be, hey, I want Uncle Skip to help us with this delivery kind of thing, because there are going to be some insurance questions, and there are going to be some permitting, and there's going to be some. Well, we're in this city now. We have to put up a physical barrier, or wristbands, or all that stuff, right? And we'll help you navigate that. But we're also going to. You might get some pushback from the people who are in the wine and spirits world, like, "Hey, man, beat it. This is our side of the street."
Yeah.
Or
what are you doing coming in my turf?
Yeah. Or like, "Hey, this farmer's market has hundreds of people." Like, they're going to be like, "Yeah, so it's going to cost you $300. So hopefully you sell some stuff to be a part of this, because quite fairly, they have established a product. They have advertising. They have their own insurance. They have their own liabilities. They have their own risk. So yeah. So that's
farmers
going to be,
markets booths aren't free. Generally,
no. So we would expect that to go into effect 90 days after the close of the session, called sine die, or there's other ways to say it. I can't remember.
Sine die.
Sine die, like more Latin inspired, which is what it is. 90 days after the session ends, I think we're at day 94 of a 100-day session, which you pointed out was, and I just thought it was just Senate rules or House rules, but it is in statute, although they can extend it under certain circumstances. It doesn't matter. All the bills could be done. They have to sit and they have to get the budget done before June, something coming up. So if you are in the process of filing a state license of any kind, I would recommend you get that done sooner or later. Because when they shut that government down, even if it's for 24 hours, that creates a backlog and
mucks up the gears.
Yes, people will panic and start.
The gears of bureaucracy are not infallible.
Yes, and so the second part of that is our brewers will be able to file their state excise tax, also known as luxury taxes. Instead of monthly, they'll be able to do them annually starting January 1st, 2024. So that one has a hard deadline, or a hard start and stop, which makes sense. Like, no one wants to...
in the middle of a year.
Yeah. So keep on doing what you're doing. Paper filers, who are also brewers, who are very important, just as important as anybody else.
Did I miss something, though? That was two things. Oh, yeah. The IDs.
Yes, which we don't know. Well, I don't know.
Did we already talk about all this?
Yeah, we
already talked about this.
But people need to know. You got to tell people things 3 times, at least.
Great.
At least.
Yeah. So Mexican driver's license and a border crossing card will now be legal for ID purposes of alcohol purchasing. They're already legal for many other ID purposes in the state of Arizona, but for this particular purpose, they were not on the list.
This is what I would qualify as the hidden economy that most people don't see or understand. There are reasons for groups of Mexican citizens to be here apart from individual solo travel. Obviously, if you're going on vacation here, if you're going to the Grand Canyon, you're going to want to partake in whatever you used to do in your home country. And it's probably a shock to find out that, technically speaking, they can't accept your ID. Now, do people accept those IDs? Probably. Already, probably. But
great.
Yeah.
Terrible for liability purposes, but great for freedom.
Yeah, exactly. But there are organized soccer tournaments, youth leagues, educational opportunities. There are group shopping trips, and they extend now as far, the entire state. It used to be just the 75 miles near the border. Now it has recently been defined as the entire state. So, yeah, I don't know if they can see that.
So like 300 miles.
All the colored in areas.
There-ish.
So that's cool. And it's just one of those things that people don't see. People don't say, how is that the top selling beer in Arizona? Well, you're not a typical grocery shopper.
Yeah.
You buy most of your beer in a bar
or a bottle shop or a brewery. Yeah.
You don't.
There's a grocery store aisle that has many Arizona craft beers, but look at the size of that aisle compared to the rest of the aisle, right?
Mm-hmm. It's somebody, perhaps several of those brands, if they're there for a long time, are crushing it, killing it. Whether you like those beers or not, they're selling a lot. So, and that enables a lot of our businesses to do other things because they make it, they put it on a truck, and they don't have to worry about it. That doesn't need as well. Arguably, it does need a lot of attention, but it doesn't always get as much as on premise. So that's the big news. The other big news is we had a really successful Baja Beer Festival. I think it was successful. I think it was wonderful. I loved it.
Yes, it was so great. We had everyone on the VIP entry time. We had a nice line going before noon, and people kept coming up as one would expect. And everyone was in by 12:05.
Yes.
5 minutes to get that gate cleared out, and 15 minutes for GA.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know the challenges. We are using phone scanners. We literally had to rotate out phones and put them on ice because having that camera on just got really super hot.
When he says ice, he means a Ziploc bag filled with ice to cool my phone down.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would just shut down.
Yeah.
Or it'd be, yeah. And learning curve on that. Like sometimes having it small is better than having it super large.
Small is better. Small is better. Do not, when you go to a line like that, don't like pinch out so that it can get super big because it doesn't work.
If you're going to do anything, turn your contrast way up. Turn your brightness way up.
Yeah. And on the part of event producers, you can rent scanners. So we'll probably do that next year for Baja.
Yeah. It's all about having their time to prepare to do that because they're, as you can imagine, they're shipped all over the country.
Yeah.
So
relatively inexpensive. I mean, not cheap by any means, but
no.
I think of everything in terms of how many tickets, and it would be about just over 10 tickets to have 2 scanners that are dedicated for one day.
Yeah.
So like, it's a lot, but it's still good. Still manageable.
Right. Well, congratulations on having a great event. We had some walk-ups. We were able to accommodate them. It's not pretty. We'll work on that. But I think once you got in and it, like 15 minutes ain't a thing. And like, I don't know, like some people came 7 minutes late or whatever. It's not like everyone arrived exactly on time. And I do appreciate the people who line up early. And I try to at least have a small conversation with the people in the front of the line and just thank them and appreciate that they're there. Do a little video sometimes. But it's funny, like I start to do the B-roll video and like people's like, hey, Rob, and they ask me questions. And then like, well, it kind of kills my shot. But it's still fun to talk to people and get caught up. I would like to say a couple of things that we know about. Yes, we know that the lavatory situation, it was acceptable, but it could have been better. We are limited in where we can place those. Unfortunately, they are in the full sun, and we actually had them moved twice. Maybe there was a giant shipping container that you may or may not have noticed. I almost ran into it because you covered it up with that white paper. I'm like, I just turned the corner around that food truck. I'm like, oh, there it is.
It was a covered dumpster.
It's a shipping container.
Well, it was a dumpster.
It's supposed to serve as a dumpster.
Remember when I was on top?
Yeah.
It was just sheets of metal tack welded.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shipping container.
Okay. Well, the entry point was not the top. It was the
right.
side.
They covered the top.
Because they don't want people chucking stuff in there. Which is what they're going to do anyway.
Isn't that what they want to do? I mean, why do you get a dumpster?
They put it in a most unfortunate place.
They did.
So,
but we zigged, we zagged, and we made it an
that was a brilliant idea.
Undocumented
I don't know if that
feature.
was you or Bonnie.
I actually get to take credit for that one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, we got some butcher paper and covered the front of it with butcher paper and left some markers so people could draw, and people drew a bunch of fun stuff. And it ended up, instead of being a big dumpster in the middle of our event, a interactive area of our event that we got for free.
So now we own more butcher paper.
So much butcher paper. I mean, I didn't want to not have enough, so I got all the butcher paper.
No, it's just that we randomly have some from some other event, and we didn't bring it because why would we bring a bunch of butcher paper?
All the butcher paper that Walmart had.
But now I'm thinking we need to figure out how we can continue to do that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's for
fun.
sure.
Another thing I'd like to recognize you and Bonnie for is like there is a homeless population there, and instead of just telling them to leave, you guys put together some gift bags or with some items in, and it was recognized by a couple people. That was a cool thing to do.
We got some shoes too.
Yeah.
So one thing I noticed when I was there Friday setting up was there was a lot of people there. And then the fence went up, and the next day there weren't as many, very few. But that didn't eliminate the problem that we were kicking these people out of what's essentially their home. So as they came by and said, "What's going on here?" we said, "Oh, we're doing an event. No, you can't come in. But here's this bag of stuff." And there were plenty of people that I noticed that didn't have shoes. So we just got some like slides, the super cheap slides at our little fill-up area, and hopefully that people got some good use out of them.
Yeah.
Having no shoes in Tucson is not fun. Or anywhere.
Yeah.
Like anywhere.
Yeah.
It can get hot on those sidewalks. So
for sure. That was brilliant, and I wanted to thank you for that. And Bonnie, because you guys not only had to dream it up, but you had to execute it, and you guys did it great. Super happy about that. We don't encounter that on all of our events, so that was very good lateral thinking.
And pretty inspiring, like carrying around those bags in your car. Just make sure it's not chocolate, but like like some granola bars and some wet wipes and a pair of socks, a couple Gatorades, some water. We did some fresh fruit. I don't know if that's going to work in your car bag, but some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I should have a conversation to find out if toothpaste and stuff like that would be appreciated or not, because I think there's a little bit lower basic survival stuff that is needed more. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we should maybe reach out to some folks down there and have a plan for next time, because we are staying there. I mean, like, we just need to get on getting the dates and working with the system. The parks department, the dumpster notwithstanding, which that's not under their control. That's under some other entity of the city. The fire inspector was very nice, but the parks department, they're on it. Even though they had a holiday and didn't tell us, and we had to work through some things, but super nice. And like, when we have our follow-up with them, I'm sure they'll incorporate it into what has already been way more pleasant working with the current year than in the past. And the past wasn't unpleasant. It was just very much,
a lot of red tape.
Yeah.
And it was pretty easy this time. They had checklists and
much easier. Yes. So hats off to the folks at the parks. Yes. Oh yeah. I have a hat. I can take it off. Department. I thought the shade was welcome. I think there's some layout things that we can do that will take advantage of how the sun shifts. We've taken some pictures. I think we can angle certain things differently. I think we can bring the food trucks away from the building a little bit, perhaps, and it'll seem a little bit more intimate and get rid of that dead space.
You know what can go there? Maybe a VIP area. With a tent and some tables. Perhaps.
Could. There was talk about maybe getting a band. It's not a no. It's a problem we work through. And it's not just, hey, you got this band, they'll play for X amount free, doesn't matter. We have to work through the music rights situation. And unfortunately, a cover band is a terrible idea, because then we have to deal with every music rights organization.
It's not like Tucson has a lack of available musicians.
No, and they want to charge the rate for that as if we sold 1,000 tickets or whatever for the purpose of that exclusively. So
they say, every festival is a music festival if you have music.
Yeah, like as if if all that was being dedicated to the actual concert. So like they look and see, like your Ticketmaster price of average of $50 to $200 a ticket, right? So they're like, well, we want a piece of that. Like, that's not how it works for us.
Hey, we'll be in Nashville where where BMI's offices are. Maybe we can drop by, say hi. Hey, you guys, what's up?
Well, I know every once in a while we have to put a disclaimer in the show. So some of these opinions are not the opinions of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild, but BMI is eminently better to work with than ASCAP.
Oh, this is your personal opinion.
This is my personal opinion.
Oh, great.
And it's
in your
experience.
experience.
It's informed by the fact that ASCAP sent me harassing calls and bills during the pandemic for
Rob,
events that we didn't have. Yes.
Don't do that to yourself. Let it go.
Better. It felt better
just breathe it out, let it go, and remember they're just all doing their job too.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't pay for non-existent events for music
Don't
license
be sorry either.
during the
Both
COVID
of those
pandemic.
can happen at the same time.
I probably listened to a lot of music during the pandemic, but I didn't charge anybody any money, and I couldn't have anyone at my house. So
I posted a video during our virtual beer festival dancing, and it was taken down from YouTube for violation of copyright. I'm kind of glad about that right now, honestly.
wow, I should get a takedown for shaving off part of my beard.
It was not my proudest moment, but it was great.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember one of our meetings got shut down because like our meeting with our members that we used Facebook for, our members, not to the public. I looped Girl from Ipanema while we were waiting to get started, and they shut it down.
They closed the feed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's why it's better just show up at every meeting if you're me, huh? I guess.
Yeah. We made the mistake of playing Girl from Ipanema during our meeting.
Huge mistake.
Yeah. All right. So we're just going to go all AI drive music, art, the whole thing.
Yeah. We could have AI create new waiting music.
Yeah. I'm using it a little for some design ideas for some stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not probably ever going to use it straight up. Here's right for me. I'm going to pay an artist to do the last mile on it. But yeah, it's been fun to mess around with it.
Well, we need to get a new Real Wild Woodsy logo going. So
yeah, it's not so good at logos, especially things with words in it. It just wants to make up words and,
Huh.
Yeah,
I mean, I have done a couple things that were fun with it, but
yeah, I don't know.
real.
Midjourney, I don't know what you're using. Midjourney, if you put a word in there, it just falls in love with a font and just uses a few of the letters and puts it everywhere. It looks,
horrible.
I mean, if you don't know, if you were just, yeah, it looks like an alien language. So,
all right, what else we got going, Rob?
we looking forward-looking things.
Forward-looking things.
We are going to Tucson again.
Yeah, we're going to go down visit our friends at the Arizona Historical Museum, which is the correct name in Tucson.
Yes.
The Arizona Historical Museum in Tucson, where we're going to do Drink Local event with a new exhibit opening about the history of adult beverage production or just in general.
I mean, I don't think we know until we see it, but it's going to be there for a full year is my understanding. But the reception, which I think is sold out.
Yeah, it is sold out. They're asking if we have any of our tickets we don't need.
No, we don't. We need all our tickets.
Yeah.
We're not giving anything up. Sorry. It's going to be fun.
Well, hey, we have put in a lot of time and energy to make sure that to try and help out, which we love doing, but also being at the event will be fun too.
Yeah, so we'll do the event. We'll try to share our experience with the event, and you're welcome to go down there. You won't be able to drink with us or anything. But I tell you what, man, if it becomes a popular event, maybe we'll reschedule something else down there,
Another event in the museum seems like a logical move.
Yeah.
You could rotate the breweries. You could do it monthly. They have a great opportunity there.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, except for that liquor license thing.
We'll work through that.
Yeah.
That might be something that we tackle legislatively, is to provide some clarity on some of these things and make it easier for well-intentioned organizations and provide some oversight on some of the ones that are more sketchy.
I mean, that's tough to do because the definition of sketchy
Yeah, I know.
is
Hey, man, all legislation's dicey. It's all.
yeah.
It's all.
I mean, I could name sketchy ones right now, but that doesn't mean they're going to be sketchy forever. And it doesn't.
I
mean
know
they
he's not
started
going to
out-
name them, but
No.
I'm just pointing to the disclaimer again.
Yeah. And there are ones that started out sketchy that morphed into good events, and ones that were good events that changed to be sketchy. So, gosh, it's rough.
I know.
And the museum could get their own liquor license.
Yeah, there's some internal issues that I won't talk about here that we're going to help them to the extent we can. And I told Camilo to be prepared to help in whatever way we can. But in the meantime, we're going to be that licensed provider for a lot of things.
It's an amazing partnership, really.
Mm-hmm.
They have so many resources, and we have a lot of technical knowledge, and we know some people that can help.
They're storytellers, and we need to get better at telling stories.
Bingo.
As breweries.
Bingo.
Because that's marketing, that's advertising, that's all the things we say we don't do, but we do them, and we could do them better. And being a part of that has helped us enormously to better understand what's going on in our state, understand the past, and where that leads in the future.
And we met some other amazing people that they've connected us to already. So very thankful for that.
Great.
Hey, Rob, maybe we should take a break.
Let's take a break.
Feels like a break time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, Rob.
Thank you.
It's a great time pointing at a map with you for a second there.
During the break, we were just talking about what to talk about, and we just started reflecting on the map. And I said, this is something like that people do. They just point to maps and talk about it. Mostly men. And it's to me, it's related to a Midwestern thing. Like when you go to something like a funeral or you go to a family gathering and you run out of things to say, is like you talk about how you get there and how you're going. Like what highways you're taking. Like
Purtleville. I
Yeah.
would fly direct to Purtleville. I would not drive there.
No, man. No, they have an airport.
I know.
It's general
How
aviation.
else would I know?
It's
fine.
Not a commercial.
Well, I guess I'll have to fly myself then.
Yeah. Or get John Peasley to pick you up
Okay.
from Grand Canyon. He's
Great.
a flyer. Who else is a flyer? Someone else in the beer industry is a flyer. Flies planes.
Well, used to be.
Nah, not that one.
Oh,
Not that one.
Flying Bassett.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean
They're flyers.
Yeah. Big jets.
Yeah, big jets.
Yeah. I think we mistakenly called this break too early because like I gotta have one more beer.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead and get your beer, and I will go ahead and continue talking.
We don't need to. The magic of editing.
You've got me. Oh, that's right. The magic of editing.
Let's hear you monologue, man. Let's
Oh,
go, man.
so I'm super excited about going to Nashville for the Craft Brewers Conference. It is the first week of May to second week of May, somewhere in there, like 7th to 10th or something. We are going to be in the thick of the excitement that is Nashville, Tennessee right now.
A lot going on there.
But not something that I really want to have a super long conversation about right now.
No, we just happen to be in D.C. during RV Wade, and we're going to be there with some controversy going on there with some bills. And I mean, this one?
Yeah.
You think so?
For sure.
Why?
Because it was very rough opening it.
Yeah, so these are the environmental friendly ones, and man, they're also muscle builders.
That one is very...
Yeah, so
I do like them.
I do too.
Recycle that mofo right there.
All right, so let's do the whole. I'm not gonna open this just yet, but we got to do the. This beer saves water. Arizona Wilderness.
I also have this beer saves one.
Because I was too lazy to pick something out for you.
This is my jam. It's a pale ale
All right.
with Sinagua malt and drought-resistant hops.
Do you believe in any of these? No. Any of these ways to prevent?
No, I only believe in science.
All right.
I don't need to open mine yet. Okay, you're good. Maybe it was because you tapped on it.
Maybe.
Great.
It's still going, though. Yeah, that's good.
You're going to be fine.
Let it breathe.
So about Nashville.
Oh, wait. We need to change this. So, yeah, we're going for the Craft Brewers Conference. And it is a time for us to connect with our colleagues from other states and to be together and a little bit apart from the brewers and the owners and the salespeople and the allied trade members who we will spend time with. But it's our time to sort of give each other some high fives and some hugs. And
it's a small business of 100 people or so that comprise our entire peer group. So it's kind of cool, but also it can feel isolating. But I think everyone does a good job of keeping together and continuing to share. Like there's stuff that's happening in Idaho right now that might be relevant to Arizona next week. There's stuff happening in Florida that some large alcohol entity might introduce in the Arizona legislature next year. So watching everything around the country is impossible for one person, but when we all discuss our challenges and solutions, then everyone wins from that for sure.
That was well said. I would also add that we sort of are ambassadors to our state in a limited way, who speak to a certain group of consumers, community, if you want to use that word. And I think, it's our job to understand what the best part of Nashville is going to be and some of the things that we may not prefer, and it's funny. I often say that beer is like an entity. It has consciousness because it adapts to us. If it were a parasite, it would mold to however the culture expresses itself, and it would be thriving in some areas and not so much. And it sort of adapts to us, right? Obviously, it's not completely true, but the city structure, the zoning laws, the parking laws, the public transportation, that has as much a role in the success of an industry like ours than anything else. And like we've obviously are as capable as anywhere in the country to produce world-class beer. We could do better at maybe attracting talent, keeping talent. We actually do attract a lot of people from other states because of the mystery and allure of Arizona and the desert.
We're out in the West. The weather's always gorgeous.
Exactly. So,
but look at Tucson with their lack of zoning.
Yeah.
So many breweries because the opportunity is there.
Yeah.
And the hurdles to get in are lower. But it's not like people are just going to Tucson and opening breweries. It's people who live in Tucson and have a dream to open a brewery, that the path is easier than if you're doing it in, I'm just going to say Chandler, because I tried, and that was, not opening my own brewery, but we had a lot of struggles getting that done. And, I think every brewery has North Mountain. Wow. Like he had a long journey to get that thing open, but he was one of the first ones. So it's what happens.
Exactly.
So in Tucson, they're like, zoning, sure, put anything anywhere you want. We don't care.
I'm excited about that trip. Prior to that trip,
I just wrecked your entire conversation.
No. No, you related it back to our breweries, which is what we do.
All right.
I'm going to be in Des Moines. My father graduated from Drake University several decades ago, and he wants to go back before he can't do that anymore. So I am going to try to unite with Noreen won't be available. She's the current director of the Iowa Brewers Guild. I think they're the Iowa Brewers Guild.
Mm-hmm.
And
Kelsey
and Jay, who were formerly with them. And I'm going to go to El Bait Shop because there's the owner of that notable tap room, and he owns several places. He purchased some. I gave him a free one time because he just said, "Hey, what's going to take to get a brewery sign in my place in Iowa. And I said, well, you can't have the brewery one, but you can have this one. He ended up buying a few more for his other places. Every once in a while, someone's like, hey, why is your sign here in Iowa? I'm like, so you could see it and call me and text me. And it just recently happened again. So hopefully we can connect. That'll be fun. And we'll get to get a couple people to tell me what's best about Des Moines, Iowa. And I'm excited about it. It's been a long time since I've been to Iowa. I used to live in Wisconsin. We didn't go there all that often, but once in a while. Obviously, I don't have anything to compare it to because I was probably either in college and didn't care about anything other than whatever was in front of me.
The things you care about in college.
Yeah, or prior to that, but that's happening. So I got some trips ahead of me, and then we have DC coming up in July. So we think we're going to be hot and miserable this summer. That's a whole nother level of being in a suit and just sweating your ass off and humidity.
I'm already starting to strategize my suit.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a new suit coming. I'm very excited. Yeah. I've been investing in a nice suit, a more sporty suit.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to remember what I wore last year, but every once in a while I rotate in the seersucker suit, which is
I've seen that.
Southern gentleman lawyer look.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I'm just getting rid of all my old suits because those never have to be shown in public again, ever. Like,
your suit was fine. Ugh. You just have to get it tailored.
It was freaking horrendous. What are you even talking about?
You got to bring in the tailor and
just terrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, you got to go to the men's warehouse or
for sure. I don't know, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
and I already started looking for ties.
Great,
but before that, we'll be in Nashville, and we may have a little side trip to Memphis.
I want to go. I'm a big Elvis fan. Maybe we can get in.
I'm a big fan of exploring new places.
Squeeze in Memphis. I don't know. We'll see. It's a 3-hour drive. We'll have to figure out somehow.
Can we call John Peasley, see if he'll fly us?
Yeah, maybe. Fulmer, I heard someone told me that you said I was gonna fly you. It's not gonna happen. Thanks, John. His whole goal was to get me in that plane and make me puke, and it would happen within 10 minutes. I would not do well in a commercial, general aviation.
So whoever hears this, there's your motivation to get John to fly us to Memphis because Rob will puke.
Not gonna happen, man.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just rent a car and drive. Can we drive fast?
Yeah, we can. This is going to air Wednesday, Thursday. So Friday, if you want to have some craft beer, I'm working with Junior Achievement. Their location is on Broadway on Southern in Tempe. Southern and
McClintock-ish?
No, Priest the other direction.
Oh?
Yeah. And they have bottles for Biztown. There'll be some craft beer and some wine and some spirits. And it's in this little miniature town. And the whole point of it is to get kids fairly young to understand like getting a wage and paying taxes and planning for your future. And they have like, banks. American Airlines has a thing. They have a little ticketing system there, and then there's a fake plane seating area arrangement, and there's a town hall, and there's a police station, and there's a fire station. Anyway, I mean, whether that sparks your philanthropic, hey, it's going to cost some money to be a part of this, or if you just want to go drink in a tiny little
miniature town with does it have tiny little airplane seats?
No, I would.
You have to squish into them.
No, I wish we all had to wear little like Fisher Price little people costumes, or Legos.
Yes, so amazing.
I got that
vinyl, like a vinyl vest.
Yeah. So I got that going on. We got anything going on? You thought about going solo camping?
I'm going camping this weekend, either solo or with someone. But
Where?
I haven't decided.
Pick a direction.
If it's just me by myself, I'm gonna go out Globe way.
Globe.
Gonna go out to Globe, and Upper Pinal Mountain. Let's see if I can find the map for you.
That's Globe.
Yeah. So it's like there.
I think it's still gonna be
Right
kind
there.
of warm, man.
What's that?
It's gonna be warm.
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I like warm.
Yeah, that's true.
There's 3 campsites at the top of the mountain and 15 down lower. But I'm gonna go up to that top.
Globe is an interesting town. It could use some. It could use some help. It's very characterful, but it's very much in need of some dollars and some structure. I know that there used to be a brewery there. Or
Really?
yeah, it was. What was her name? Her name was Schermerhorn, and either her or her husband were in the Clinton administration. And I can't remember the name of the brewery, but it was in Globe. And I don't know if it actually produced any beer, but they had a gastropub. Let's put it that way. And it was probably before anyone was throwing that term around. And you can still see it. Like you can see it. And it was kind of a upstairs kind of basement thing to it. Lots of old buildings there. But like, geez, man, I want to say it was, I keep thinking of the place in Yuma. It's not that. It's not the Monarch. It's something else. But yeah, I mean, if you're in there, I can probably coordinate it, the map location of it. But there's just so much there, and it's like, man, I hope they can get someone to revitalize it. It's a town that was built on mining, and the residents there, you know, a lot of the young people are moving out, and a lot of people who were there. And the mining industry still has commitments for healthcare and all that other stuff. So that people who are there are not leaving because that's their only source of
Quasi in.
I don't know if. Well,
there is a do you remember at Strong Beer, that brewing company gave away a super cool looking teardrop trailer? That company's based in Globe, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he's all over the place. But yeah, I think it's.
I mean, that's where he builds them.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's a trailer.
Well, go pick one up for me when you're.
Sure, will do.
I would love to have that. Thank you.
No problem. I think they have a discount for buying it on site.
Yeah.
I'll bring my tow hitch.
I don't know. I go back and forth on it. On
a teardrop trailer? You don't want a teardrop trailer. You want a real trailer.
I go back and forth on this.
Oh, okay.
Like, if I want to be more like Andrew Bauman, I want to be like more minimal.
Yeah.
And that's teardrop trailer.
Oh, you know what I'm doing we're going to that Mountain Expo?
Yeah.
I'm pulling everything out, and I'm like, oh, I have 5 flashlights in my car. I can only use one at a time. I'm only bringing one.
That's great, man.
I know they all have different uses.
No flashlight fights when you're camping with Andrew, because unless you bring your own.
Well, this will be a 3-night camping trip for my wife, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, well, that's
it's after Nashville, though.
So May 20th,
we're talking about it.
My understanding, May 20th is Lumberyard's anniversary, and then somewhere into
that's a Saturday, yeah.
I think we have to start looking at the Flagstaff Brewing Company anniversary being like 30, and maybe Beaver Street being 30. I got to look into that. It's coming up, and
wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to spend some time up there in June again or July.
Great. Oh, it's terrible. Flagstaff in June or July? Oh, sad for me.
Yeah. So that's what we're working on. And I might spend, after this travel stint, after CBC, I might spend a lot more time in Flagstaff, working on the event up there. So.
Yeah, I don't know why you say it with such heavily sarcastic tones, but yes.
I don't know. I think people just think we just say it's going to happen and we just wait.
It magically happens.
There's a lot of work in this, and it's challenged by the fact that we've had less time to do it. This is something that would normally.
We're just popping this event out right now. Like we're just deciding, okay, we're going to do it in Flagstaff. Boom, let's go.
Yeah.
So we have like 2 months.
Yeah.
And we have the Arizona Craft Beer Awards judging coming up.
We do.
We set some groundwork on that, but we haven't really established.
Do you know I'm going to be in Nashville for my 25th anniversary?
Of your wedding?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I have brought Brenda to the conference a couple of times. It worked once or twice. It's not going to work again. So I have to have a makeup 25th anniversary.
Go to Des Moines.
No. No, it's not going to work. Yeah, no. So, and we have our own 25th anniversary that we have to decide on how we're going to imagine that, right?
The Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. That's correct.
Yeah. Don't put it on my anniversary.
It's definitely going to be during the Arizona Craft Beer Awards. FYI, I just told you.
Great.
Super secret insights.
We're going to ramp up to that. We're gonna have some commemorative stuff. Tackers.
Yeah. We're gonna do
glassware.
Tackers, glassware. Probably some pins.
Shirts.
I love pins, man.
Hats.
We'll just do Rob's hats. Everyone in the audience has a Rob hat on.
Okay, well, I'm on it.
No, that's me, not you.
Baseball jerseys.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Could be, probably, maybe.
I love that.
Hockey? No hockey.
We have a hockey team that's like right down the street from us.
Not yet. We got to wait for that vote to go through.
They are right there, like probably tonight.
Oh, and the mullet arena.
I changed it. I just did a little switcheroo. All right. Well, it seems like we've gotten so far off track. There's no coming back.
There's no track.
And
because you know why there's no track?
Because
this is not a beer podcast.
Well, it's a podcast about beer.
Exactly.
Oh, wait. Sometimes the beer finds you.
That's very now that you said it that way, it's very Yakov Smirnoff.
I like that one better.
No, you do?
Yakov Smirnoff. I mean, not that we can't use both.
There's craft beer Arizona. Sometimes beer finds you.
Sometimes beer finds you. Fine.
Well,
that's a good point. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to this beer saves water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, water. We have a lot to talk about with that, too. Again. And more.
Yeah, there's some things
Next
going
time,
on.
not right now.
Yeah, we got to wait for things to gel.
Okay, thanks.
Having gelled water is not really cool, but we need the water to gel, so we have water policy. Gelling, so
You're still talking.
I know.
Okay, bye.
Because no one's cutting off the taps, but they're not replenishing the taps. I don't get it. I am in the rant cam. Let's do the overhead rant cam. Overhead rant cam. This is going to be so out of sync. All right, I'm shutting this off. And I'm shutting...